Hey, what's up? My name is Tyson Brown and I want to welcome you to Tyson's Fitness Tips podcast. This is Australia's top health and fitness podcast to help you lose weight, look good with your shirt off, feel confident in your body, and finally achieve the goals you want with your health and fitness. So 5 days a week, I'm going to be giving you top information from myself and also from leading experts in the field so you know everything you need to do to get in the best shape of your life. From nutrition to mindset to workout, everything is covered in this podcast and you need to go nowhere else. So like I said, it's going to be 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, in your ears with quick actionable segments that you can implement straight away, because the most important thing is that you can put these things into play. Also, if you listen all the way to the end of the episode, you're going to get 2 special gifts that you can download upon listening to it. So make sure you listen all the way to the end to get those free gifts, okay? So let's get into the episode. Should you skip breakfast? Good morning. I hope you're doing well. I am doing fan-fucking-tastic because this is my 5th episode on my Monday morning. Crushing it nice and early. 5 episodes getting done. 50 minutes of my walk. 50 minutes of podcasting. And I'm feeling great. I'm like, wow, these topics are flowing. This list thing that I've got going on works really well, because I can refer to the list. Like with most satiating foods, I was just pulling out this, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about legumes. I added legumes. And so, yeah, I'm having a good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Hopefully this traffic isn't going to be too loud now that I'm on the main road and people are awake. I'm going to try and stay away from the main road as much as possible so you can still hear me. And today's topic is all about breakfast. Should you be eating breakfast? Should you skip breakfast? Is breakfast really the most important meal of the day? Because, you know, I'm a big advocate of intermittent fasting. That may be how you first came across me with the intermittent fasting thing. So I clearly would skip breakfast. But then, over the last 9 months, I've been eating breakfast, right? So, what I want to say is I need to sneak into a backside street so you guys can actually hear me. Is when it comes to breakfast is known as breaking the fast, okay? Everyone associates breakfast with, like, you know, it's your morning meal. It's not really. Breakfast is your first meal of the day. That's what's the most important thing. It's your first meal of the day, and it's what consists of your first meal of the day. So, in saying that, should you skip breakfast? Should you not skip breakfast? Well, you're going to have breakfast either way. But what we're talking about here is, should you skip your morning meal or not? And the answer is sadly, it depends. It depends on you, and it depends on whether you like to have breakfast or whether you hate to have breakfast. If you are not a natural breakfast eater, you don't need to have breakfast. If you could be like, you know what, I have my black coffee, I'm going to keep going until lunchtime, awesome, do that. But if you're someone who wakes up and you're ravenous, and if you don't have breakfast, you get hangry, and you tend to binge eat for the rest of the day, then you should probably have breakfast. But here's the thing, breakfast doesn't kickstart the metabolism. Breakfast isn't going to change the hormones in your body. Breakfast isn't going to do anything magical that not having breakfast is going to do. And the same thing with not having breakfast. Skipping a meal isn't going to ramp up your metabolism. Isn't going to put you in fat burning mode faster. You know, they talk about fasted versus fed cardio. If you train on an empty stomach, do you burn more fat? Blah, blah, blah. No. It really comes down to dependency. Because remember, the first episode that I talked about, well, on Monday, it's now quote-unquote Friday, even though it was 50 minutes ago for me. The first thing we talked about was calorie deficit. And as long as you're in a calorie deficit, whether you skip breakfast or whether you eat breakfast, it does not matter. Even if you skipped breakfast and lunch and you ate all of your calories in one meal, which I wouldn't recommend because you want multiple servings of protein during the day, if you did that and you still stuck to your calorie deficit, you would lose weight. You would lose weight. Whether you had all your carbohydrates at night or whether you had them all in the morning. Because what matters most, like we talked about, is calories. And so breakfast skippers don't get fatter, don't put on weight, don't have poor memory, all those things. Even studies have shown that kids who skip breakfast, it's fine. Kids who skip breakfast do not decline in mental cognitivity. Clearly my cognitivity is down. Cognitive behavior, cognitive awareness, anything like that, IQ points, all those things does not change with kids who skip breakfast. So having breakfast does not matter. It all depends on you and what's going to suit you. So if you like to skip breakfast, skip breakfast. If you like to eat breakfast, eat breakfast. The only thing that skipping breakfast does is it can make adherence for people easier, for some people. Or it can make adherence for some people harder because they're constantly focusing, oh, when's my first meal, when's my first meal? Like for me, if I skip breakfast, it makes my day so much easier. Because I train clients in the morning, first of all. Secondly, I don't have to worry about food. I can get all my little product, because I'm most productive in the morning. You know, I'm doing all this stuff now. It gets a lot of things done really quickly early in the morning. And then for the rest of the day, after 12 o'clock, I can eat my meals. I feel more satiated in the afternoon because my worst time is overeating at night time. So I will skip breakfast and I will purposely keep my calories pretty low during the day and have more calories at night. Now, is that optimal? Probably not, because I have lower energy during the day when I do start to eat. Sometimes I go to bed too full. That's just me. That's just what I like. So even though it's not optimal, it suits my lifestyle. But I like to skip breakfast, and I'm actually back to the breakfast skipping stage again. I've done intermittent fasting. I started having breakfast again. I realized that skipping breakfast really does help because it's like floodgates. Once I start eating, the floodgates open, and then it gets very hard for me to sustain eating a small amount of calories for the rest of the day. But if I don't eat breakfast and I just keep going, I don't think about it, and it makes it easier. But for you, you might be the opposite. If you start obsessing, if you start getting hangry, if you just like, oh, I can't do it, then don't. Like, you don't have to, because it all comes down to calories. And then there are the people who are like, oh, I want to skip breakfast because, I don't know, you want to give the breakfast skipping a try, but you're like, I don't know how to start. And there are multiple ways to start, but it's like, you can do what we call fake fasting. And fake fasting is having your coffee with some milk in it. It's going to help you adhere. Because not everyone likes black coffee. I get it. I like coffee with milk in it, actually. And so what you can do is, if you're like, you know what, I like my coffee with milk in it, instead of having a flat white, I'm going to have a long black with a little bit of milk, or whatever it's going to be, and then I'm going to keep not eating until lunchtime. Because if you get a long black, if you get what I do, long black, little bit of milk, that's about 80 calories, right? It's under 100 calories. Let's say you have 2 of those before your first meal. So you have 160 calories, right? That's it. You've had 160 calories, and it's now 12 o'clock. You've now got 8 hours to eat. Let's say you need 2,000 calories. You've now got 8 hours to eat 1,900 calories a day. Is that right? 1,900 calories a day, ish, 1,850, whatever it's going to be, and you're good. You've got the whole day to eat the rest of the food. You're going to be more fuller. So try the fake fasting. If you want to try skipping breakfast, but you don't want to give up your coffee, you could do that. Just quote unquote fake fasting, right? Because that might be a better adherence for you. So remember, there's no right or wrong answer. Skipping breakfast is entirely up to you. If it works for you, fucking skip breakfast. Because if it works for you and you can stand that calorie deficit easier, do that. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. And there's like, that is what the science is saying. I promise to you one thing, that I'm going to give you evidence-based research. I'm I'm going to share with you what works and what doesn't, and the truth, and that is the truth. I used to just tell everyone, oh, you should skip breakfast. You know, once I started doing intermittent fasting, I became like a zealot. Like, everyone should intermittent fast. Everyone should skip breakfast. Blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't suit everyone. A lot of my clients are like, man, I just can't do it. That's cool. If you can't do it, too easy. Don't stress. Doesn't matter. As long as you're in your calorie deficit, that's all that matters. So that's what I want to leave you with today. That's the end of the weekly series. Of course, there's going to be next week. But, Jesus, I just smashed out a whole bunch of podcasts. And I'm very happy with that. I hope you've enjoyed this little mini series of how to get in a calorie deficit, how to eat as much protein, where your sources are going to come from. Let's say that again since the truck. I hope you've enjoyed how to get in a calorie deficit, how much protein you need, where to get your protein, carbohydrates, and fat sources from, how to set up your meals, all those things. I really hope this has been a good little series. I'm going to keep going, obviously, next week. It'll be a different series, but I appreciate you staying with me for the last week. And remember, always feel free to reach out on Instagram at Tyson the Trainer with 2 R's, and I'll speak to you next time. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. So now you've listened all the way to the end. That means you get some free goodies. So what you can do is you've got 2 different options, or you can take them both. I've got an intermittent fasting cheat sheet and a high protein 20 recipe meal guide designed specifically for you in your situation. These meal plans and this intermittent fasting guide is designed to help you burn stubborn belly fat and get in the best shape of your life. So all you have to do is go to the show notes, click on the download link, and they'll get sent straight to your email address. It's as simple as that. They're completely free. They're gonna help you transform your body. So go to the show notes now and download your free guides, and I'll speak to you in the next episode.